bit... Oh, g'day. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Just turned the telly on here, shouldn't take long to warm up. I dropped a new spark plug in it the other night. She's going pretty good now. Sit down and watch this program, they reckon it's pretty good. Hang on a minute, I'll check that the aerial's alright. Got to allow for the hills from the reception here. Can't be too careful with these aerials, of course. Got a mate who ran into a bit of bother the other day with aerials. He was playing about with them without the glovey protection. They reckon he got a bolt up his arm. Not too pleasant. Anyway, sit down. I'll make you a cup of beer at half time.
Mr. Dagg, you may not want to answer this question, but yeah. I'd like you to tell me truthfully how many sheep you in fact have.
Around 2 million. Around about 2 million. My wife put them through the race the other day while I was knocking off my porridge in the morning, and she reckoned they were about 2 million.
Have you ever had time to count them? Have you done that?
I've had time, yeah, but I've never done it.
Why not?
Too busy, mate.
And the suggestion was that some people were pretending to retain some stock they didn't actually have, in order to obtain the benefit deriving therefrom. I found that very difficult to believe, and I tried to point that out.
We here retent the sheep in March, and then we retent them again in October, and if any have slipped through, then we whip out after dinner and retent them in the yard.
Mr. Dagg, I imagine this whole process must involve the payment to you of fairly substantial sums of money.
Yeah, I should imagine so, yeah.
Well, Mr. Dagg, I wonder if we could see some of these alleged sheep.
Yeah, I wonder if we could. Now, you see that hill over there?
Just, yeah.
Yeah, well, down in that first saddle, see that white thing? I think that's one of them. No, just a minute, that's a rock. They don't have a rock retention scheme, do they, the Gummin?
Would you mind if I made a head count?
Not at all. No, that's all right. You just jack your slide rule up. I'll go and get you some. Hang on.
Some sheep! 2 million!
I have reason to believe, that is to say I've got no reason not to believe, that I've invented a bomb of catastrophic proportions.
Could you describe your bomb? What does it look like?
Well, it looks like a bomb. I mean, a bomb's a bomb. Up the sharp end, you've got the lead, and that bit's going to hurt. Then there's, in the middle canister, there's all these chemicals and things of a highly technical nature, which I can't actually pretend to understand terribly well myself. And in the final, the last canister, there's just a whole lot of other stuff that I found around on the concrete of the milking shed after milking. And I think that last section, if everything else fails, might be a little cracker.
Where is the test area? Have you found one yet?
Well, yeah, the wife and I struggled over the Atlas last night trying to find a test area. We don't want it to be too near to New Zealand, so that the ghastly fallout and firestorms and such like don't affect the good people in New Zealand. So we've got an area a long way away from New Zealand where we won't be affected at all, and not to put too fine a point on it, France.
Senator Collins, thanks for coming in.
It's a great pleasure, thank you.
This ship that was involved in the incident off Western Australia this week...
Yeah, the one the front fell off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very typical. I'd like to make that point.
Well, how is it untypical?
Well, there are a lot of these ships going around the world all the time, and very seldom does anything like this happen. I just don't want people thinking that tankers aren't safe.
Was this tanker safe?
Well, I was thinking more about the other ones.
The ones that are safe?
Yeah, the ones the front doesn't fall off.
Well, if this wasn't safe, why did it have 80,000 tonnes of oil on it?
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't safe. It's just perhaps not quite as safe as some of the other ones.
Why?
Well, some of them are built so the front doesn't fall off at all.
Well, wasn't this built so the front wouldn't fall off?
Well, obviously not.
How do you know?
Well, because the front fell off and 20,000 tonnes of crude oil spilled into the Seacourt fire. It's a bit of a giveaway. I just like to make the point that that is not normal.
Well, what sort of standards are these oil tankers built to?
Oh, very rigorous maritime engineering standards.
What sort of thing?
Well, the front's not supposed to fall off for a start.
And what other things?
Well, there are regulations governing the materials that they can be made of.
What materials?
Well, cardboard's out.
And?
No cardboard derivatives.
Like paper?
No paper. No string, no sellotape.
Rubber?
No, rubber's out. They've got to have a steering wheel. There's a minimum crew requirement.
What's the minimum crew?
Oh, one, I suppose.
So the
You.
Now, Mr. Wilson, we've got a problem, haven't we?
No problem, mate. That is not good.
No, this is not good at all, Mr. Wilson.
What sort of a problem?
Well, I'm right, aren't I, in assuming that you put that athletics track in?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, now, did you do this to specifications, Mr. Wilson?
Yes,
Are they the specifications there, Mr. Wilson?
yes, that's them.
Good.
Now, Mr. Wilson, have you measured the 100 metres track?
Yes, of course.
Well, let me ask you, how long is it?
How long is the 100 metres track?
Yes.
It's a 100 metres track.
Yeah, I know what it is, Mr. Wilson. I'm asking you how long it is.
It's about 100 metres.
It's about 100 metres long.
Yes.
How long should it be, Mr. Wilson?
That's about the length it should be.
Yeah, about 100 metres long. Is the 200 metres track about 200 metres long?
Well, the 200 metres track is different.
Isn't it twice as long as the 100 metres?
Well, the 200 is different.
No, you've lost us, Mr. Wilson.
Well, the 200 metres track is part of the 400 metres track.
Well, how long's the 400 metres track, Mr. Wilson?
Well, the 400 metres starts round here in the back straight, finishes up here at the finish line.
Yeah,
It's a staggered start.
No, familiar with the event itself, Mr. Wilson. What I'm trying to ascertain is, are you absolutely sure that the 200 metres track is 200 metres long?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, because it's half the 400 metres track, which is 400 metres long.
That's right. The 200 metres is half the 400 metres. You can measure it.
Yeah, no. But the 400 metres track is exactly 400 metres long, is it?
That's right.
So the 200 metres track is exactly 200 metres long.
Yes, of course.
But what you're telling me is that the 100 metres track is about 100 metres long.
Slightly different arrangement to the 100 metres track.
Is a metre a slightly different concept, is it, in 100 metres as against 200? Well, I don't understand, Mr. Wilson, quite why in the construction of a 100 metres track you would want to depart too radically from the constraints laid down for us by the conventional calibration of distance.
Well, the 100 metres track is not part of the 400 metres track. It starts way out there.
Mr. Wilson, it doesn't matter whether it's horizontal or vertical. 100 metres is 100 metres.
No two 100 metres tracks are ever the same. Everybody knows that.
Well, how long is our 100 metres track?
Look, what's the point?
The point, Mr. Wilson, is that in 739 days we're going to have the Olympic 100 metres final on that track. This is an event that'll be watched by about 600 million of the world's most dedicated rugged individualists. You and I both know it's going to be run on a track that's not 100 metres long.
How do you know that?
Mr. Wilson, do you know who is the current 100 metres all-comers Australian record holder?
No. Can I guess?
Oh, there's not much point in guessing, Mr. Wilson.
Is he an African American?
He's not an African American, no.
Is he that Canadian from Jamaica?
No, he's not a Canadian from Jamaica, no.
I give up.
The 100 metre record in this country, Mr. Wilson, is currently held by Brian.
Brian.
Yes. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And you, Mark, Mr. Wilson, set at a blistering session last Wednesday. I wish you'd been there. We were down there and we had a bet.
Is this wind assisted?
No, and we'd had a couple, and in my view, Brian's not in quite the nick he was at the same stage of last season.
So you've measured the track?
Yeah, we've measured the track, Mr. Wilson.
So you know how long the 100 metres track is?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
How long is it, Mr. Wilson?
You know how long it is?
I want to hear you say it.
94 metres.
94 metres. 94 metres. Well, we've got a new event, haven't we, Mr. Wilson?